Hey guys, all right, finally, we're at episode 7 and 8 of The Defenders on Black Hollywood Live, and we find out what the secret of the ooze, the secret of the substance is. Breaking it down next.
Oh, man. Oh, we should have said protect your neck. I totally forgot we had a song for this one. That's okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the songs were for...
It was Protect Your Neck by Wu-Tang Clan when they started the fight.
Oh.
It's an amazing song. Anywho.
All right.
Right before Luke Cage gets strangled. And I'm like, you should protect your neck, bro. Listen to the song.
Okay, got it. All right. Hey guys, you're watching Black Hollywood Live. We're covering The Defenders, episodes 7 and 8, Fish in the Jailhouse, and appropriately titled, The Defenders. I'm Rick Hong. You can find me on all social media at Rick Hong, and I'm joined by my panel.
Hey, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
And I'm April Dawn. You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at April13Dawn.
All right, ladies. This is interesting.
That was a show.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
If you have seen our previous ones, you understand our sentiment. We did not change. I was hoping for. Do you guys think maybe the conclusion would have roused your spirits a little bit about the show?
I was hoping for it, but I didn't really do it.
I don't know. I mean, so what I found interesting was like, okay, when we're in episode 7, you mentioned last episode that you wanted to see like Misty Knight kind of do the interrogations, but it wasn't in the form that you wanted it.
No, it's a very light. Here's my thing. Misty is so how to say, it's just like, you need to tell me this information, but then she goes away. Like, I spent the last 2 days in an a Law and Order SVU marathon.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It was great. And I know what an interrogation scene looks like now, and I'm just like, where is, like, I need her to become stabler. I need her to get angry and really, like, push people around. Like, when she, jumping just a little bit ahead, in 8, when she comes through gun out, I'm like, this is the Misty I have been waiting for. This is it right here.
I was actually thinking in episode 7, I'm like, someone must have really been watching like Law and Order, just like the way that it was even directed, just some of the way.
A little bit, yeah. They shoot from outside the interrogation glass, and then there's the low shot of her standing above the table, above the person being interrogated. So they have little bits here and there, but like Law and Order, their officers always blur the lines of what a police officer should do, and because we know Misty Knight's story, eventually, she's going to go out and become a vigilante. I feel like this is where those lines need to start blurring. This is where I need to see her go a little into vigilante terror. Go a little Batman on him. Slap him around a bit. Misty, you could do it.
It was a little. She was a little vanilla.
She's timid, which is not at all how I picture Misty, and especially somebody who. I mean, in Luke Cage, I felt like Misty was tearing everything up. Like, she was in everybody's business, just being pushy. Like, she did people down like, this is my block. This is where I play ball. And we could just none of that here.
April.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. She has such an attitude to her, but I wanted her to use that more towards them and take control of the situation instead of just being an obstacle for them.
Although maybe, I don't know, maybe it was the fact that they just came out of like some crazy trauma. I just thought like how like each person's like waking up in a bed and...
That's fair.
So maybe it's just like, okay, I gotta take a light because they probably have no idea where they're at or what the hell is going on.
They might be concussed, so I should take it easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I thought about I mean, I guess it was okay to see everybody at the jailhouse this time around. We've got the Defenders, and then we've got all their B characters with them, and they're, luckily...
Well, this time there felt like a really strong reason for everyone to be there. You know what I mean? Like, we have to... It's going down. Like, everyone stay in this room. Everybody's safe. So I liked it a little bit better this time. I wish they had interacted cross-group a little bit more. That's a lot of dry time to be doing nothing, to just stay huddled in your individual masses.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way for the part of the episode for sure. Is like, okay, they're taking a long time at the jailhouse doing this stuff, and I was thinking, I don't know if it's really pushing the story forward, if I really care, because I know that it's getting towards go time.
Yeah.
So
on a random note, I realized we didn't see any more of Hogarth. After she talked to Foggy and saying, keep an eye on Jessica Jones and keep them out of their area, we didn't see her again at all.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know, I was kind of bummed to not see Carrie-Anne Moss
Me too.
show up again. I
don't know what Carrie would have done, really, just based off the story that we got. Like, I'm sure we could have written great things for Carrie. She could perform anything. But I missed her, but I don't know what she would have done if she had been in there. Because her character didn't really do much more after that. And Foggy worked by proxy through her, but...
Yeah, I feel like Foggy didn't really do anything to hinder Jessica in any form.
Foggy. What is up with Foggy here? I love Foggy in Daredevil. He's one of my favorite characters. He's so squishy and, like, awesome, and he's got, like, a heart of gold. And here, like, okay, let's talk about it. Guys, how do you feel about Daredevil's, like, sidekick team? I have a real problem with them harping on him wanting to be a superhero. Not because I don't understand. Certainly you want your friend to be safe and you don't want them not only to not be injured, but to be in any kind of trouble or lose their law license. Like, there's a lot at stake. But at some point, like, don't you just know who Matt is? Like, at some point, aren't you just like, look, if I'm his friend, I just gotta support dude?
Maybe.
Or do you agree with that? Or were you genuinely seeing this? And maybe it's just me. I could not understand why at some point they just draw the line and be like, look, Matt's going to do what Matt's going to do, and either we're going to be here or we're not. Like, I would have rather either one of them get angry and walk away as opposed to just staying. They became almost like the human Iron Fists of just like, why are you doing this? It just became really whiny and a little annoying.
I mean, because I think that's the issue, though. I think it's when you decide in life to draw a line and you either accept a person for the way they are or for the way they're not, and you don't agree with the way that they are, you walk away. And unfortunately for the show, you can't have a good character or potentially a good character or a voice of reason walk away. I agree with you. People do become whiny in that situation. It's like, just embrace the fact that he's Daredevil. Let him do his thing. Either help him or get out of the way on some end. But
or try to stop him. You know what I mean? If you're, especially, names.
Karen.
Yes. Karen especially. Like, Foggy gave him the suit, and I saw Foggy internally conflicted with things. But Karen literally was just there to complain and do a little bit of journalism work throughout. And I just didn't understand why at this point Karen's not like, we've lost people. I've had to watch people die. I have been kidnapped. And you continue to do this stupid stuff. I'm gone. I'm out. And I feel like Matt having to deal with that would have been much more interesting for his character as well as for Karen's. Like, maybe Karen goes off and does hard news work without the Daredevil, without, you know, that little bit of insight that she has. I don't know. I just think that would have been a much more participatory way of telling the story.
April?
I would have liked it if Karen did leave, and then we could see her in The Punisher, and we could get her in that story.
Yes,
Ooh.
April with the thoughts.
Hey, Marvel, pay attention! April just said something awesome.
Yes.
Because we were talking. I don't know if it was off air. We were talking about on air. But yeah, I was trying to figure out where the storyline for the Punisher would go, because he's not really like the moral conflicted character. Mm-hmm. There is no, I potentially have to be careful of this person getting hurt or that person getting hurt. But that's a good.
She could continue her journalism, and then she gets away from Matt, and we're all happy.
Yeah, and we could see the other side of that hero situation, or she could see the other side of the hero situation, because we know she doesn't like what Matt does because she's worried about Matt being hurt. But the Punisher, he's just going to be violent and ridiculous, and it's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see her, like, following that story and being like, oh my gosh, Matt is, like, an in control hero. Like, maybe Matt is the smarter solution to this problem. I also kind of hope that the Punisher pulls a Wonder Woman and is like, we don't need to touch on anything else. Like, this can be a solo story for Punisher. We don't need to wholeheartedly include everybody else. I wouldn't care if, like, little people popped up here and there in the same way that, you know, Diana's got Bruce's letter. But I kind of want him to have his own story a little bit, especially because we kind of wrapped up things with the Hand, and, you know, it feels like the other Defenders are going to be going their own direction.
I mean, what did you ladies think about the... I didn't see it coming, and I actually liked... Here's what I liked. What I liked was the dragon bones, a Shao Lao, is the substance. Yeah. And I don't know why. I must be dumb, and everybody's going to sit there in the chat or at home, like, sitting there thinking, yeah, duh, they needed the fist to break through. I don't know why I didn't think that. I thought they maybe needed to, like, rip out, like, that essence to open or unlock. That's what I always thought.
It was very vague as to what I thought. It was going to be a thing where he, like, used his fist as an actual key.
Oh, like
it didn't occur to me like, oh, he'll need to break something. Like, I thought, like,
okay,
oh,
so I'm not as okay. So it wasn't just April. I don't know about you, but I mean, for me, I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes. He's an iron fist. He's gonna break through. I didn't think about that. I don't know if, like, you were like, oh yeah, duh, I got it.
I didn't really know what they were doing. All they said that was that he's a key, and they didn't really elaborate on it. But once he broke through, it made sense.
All right, so I don't feel so.
You're not alone.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I mean, yeah, because when it happened, I'm like, oh, that's very obvious and kind of makes sense. That's where they needed to.
So it's actually smart.
So.
I also liked all the dragon talk that Danny and Luke had before that. How Danny had said that he like plunged his fist into the heart of the dragon before, and then we got to go back and see a dragon. It all kind of came full circle.
Yeah, I mean that part of the story I did like, because it's this substance or whatever these things that they needed, and like why they needed the Iron Fist. Like that part really for me was good for the storytelling aspect of putting Iron Fist together with Defenders and the whole reason the Hand needed. I liked it. It was satisfactory for me. That part of the storyline to need like, because I don't know. I think I just thought. I don't know what the substance or the ooze, the green ooze. I didn't really know what it was. So to know that that's what they needed to either melt down, or I don't know. And I don't know if they drink it or if they pop pills with it, or if they.
I imagine they grind the bones down and snort it like lines of coke.
Yeah, right. If they lotion themselves or take showers with it, I have no idea. But I at least was like fine with that. But at least the other good. I mean. Even if the episode 7 was slow, at least they got to the fighting eventually.
True. Yeah. And again, pretty good fights. Not great story-wise, but visually pretty good.
I mean, because but at the end of it, like, that's kind of just what I guess there's no, you need the big shootout, the big duels, and there is no way around it.
I like that an entire building collapsed, and I'm like, there was some action.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on. I understand that you need to close up the hole. It's a little strange, and I know it's been many, many, many decades, and it is what it is. But the fact that you have to like blow up a building in New York and the way that it crumbles, I didn't really like the symbolism of that. In terms, I know they weren't. That's not what they were.
I got you though. I got you. There might have been other ways. I also. It just seems like someone might be able to use those dragon bones for something, not necessarily evil or living forever. Just seems like a crazy great resource to just be like, no, we gotta close that off. There's no way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. Right. I mean, in truth though, too, in terms of the storytelling for what they're going for, like I don't know what other way. Unless Danny does the whole like crazy Superman dive down and. Punch the ground.
But how much cooler would that have been? Like, how much cooler would that have been to watch? So many cool things that could be.
Yeah, but then we have our 3 team of the Defenders go off to go get Danny so that they can all kind of have their separate fight, and then there's like Colleen with Claire. And Bakudo.
Amazing. Can we just talk about how Colleen might be the best fighter on this set? She just, wow. She really amazes me every time she shows up. And I really enjoy her storyline almost more than anyone else's this season. Even though it's crazy short. Like, if you took out Colleen's storyline, you'd have maybe half an episode. But the stuff that she does this season, from carrying all of Danny's emotional weight and getting the team together with Claire to this final fight scene against Bakudo, while also trying to protect Claire and Simone. Like, it is just Simone Missick. She's just incredible. I could have watched like a full hour of this fight scene.
I mean, it's mind-boggling how well the writers from Iron Fist and from this show know her voice.
Yeah.
And Jess Henwick, the actress, does a good job of delivering not only Colleen's lines but the martial arts in terms of what we see. Who knows what the actual percentage is, but Joel, when you and I, like April, like when Joel and I like interviewed Louis Tan, he said that in The Thicket, who's a very serious martial artist because his father was, he said that like Jess was like on set, she was very much involved with like the training and the choreography,
and it shows because she's got beats in her fight coordination. Like, there's a moment where she has to draw back from Bakudo, and there's genuine fear in her face before she takes that next strike, and you can see her calculating the moves. Like, you get the sense like this is a true fighter, because she is one. And I just, man, I cannot wait for her to have her own show. It's gonna be great.
But that's what I'm saying. It's that's what's so mind-boggling is she comes from the same show, but yet they know her voice really, really, really well. But Danny's voice is still all over the place, and we can't even predict which direction he's going to go in for his Iron Fist 2.
I'd really love to talk to the writers, because I have a feeling that maybe they thought traditional Danny wasn't going to play well. Like, for whatever, like, he's kind of doofy, you know, can occasionally be slapstick silly. He's a big character. And I know they took a lot of, like, Luke's stuff was easy to strip because Luke's stuff is kind of racist. The stuff they removed from Luke from the comics, it's like, you know, he's saying jive turkey and a bunch of other things.
Sure. Stuff that would work back in the 70s, right.
So stripping him and making him, like, an upstanding gentleman and a service to the community is I think, an easier get than, man, like, hippie, skinny, blonde kid. Like, how do we... Like, I can genuinely feel this idea of, like, maybe that wouldn't work, and so we got to play with him and figure out how to make audiences like this Danny. I wish they hadn't, but I get it. I really hope April's prediction from earlier was right, that we're just going to see him build into the Danny that we know and love, because this one just is not working.
I'm wondering, or I was thinking, how about... I don't know if you ladies watched the Tobey, not the Andrew Garfield, but the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know how he has, like, that weird conflict about being Spider-Man, and then one day he's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. He takes the outfit, throws it in the trash can, and then you see him just go crazy. He's, like, sitting there disco dancing and everything. It's like, I wouldn't even mind seeing if, like, Danny's just, I'm over all of this. Let me just be somebody else. Or... It
would be cool to see him be like a regular hipster exploring New York for the first time, just gentrifying the shit out of the area. I'm bad. It would be fun to see him just go around, like, right now in New York, it's really popular to go to daytime parties. I want to see Danny do that. I want to see Danny go to a party in the middle of the day and just be like, yes! And Colleen's like, what are we doing? We have things to do. And he's like, nope, I'm over all of it.
Or, I mean, granted, they would never go this direction, but, right, he just let him experiment a little bit. so he can loosen up.
Yeah, definitely. He never had his teen years. Get them now.
I mean, because he's already getting his booty from Colleen. So it's just like, so on that end, he's not frustrated.
Yeah, no, he's good there.
So.
Yeah, you know, and he's no one's gonna best him in a fight. Nobody should be able to best Iron Fist in a fight. So it'd be really cool to see him, you know, like, just trying to explore what does it mean to be a regular human in New York City. Yeah, I would love that. Especially because, you know, eventually he's going to get to Luke in Harlem and have Luke showing him around and he get more of their, like, buddy cop duo, which I enjoy.
Or I wonder maybe if he can kind of be like, this is my culture, man. Like, and have him be like, all right. Like, have him try to embrace. I was like, okay, dude, all right. It's like, all right, this is... No, I mean, it's funny because, like, just even when oh god, there's just too much talky.
Ah, yes.
There's just too much talky in these, you know, the final episodes. Like, Gao was, like, sitting there saying, you're like a little child walking with my hand. And I almost wanted just to say, like, is this the point where you could bring out the kind of the, just have him, like, just smack her in the face and be like, quit talking about my mama. Or something, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it sucks that either, I'm not sure, again, we can't 100% say, like, where these decisions are being made, but I'm not sure if it's in the performance or if it's in the writing. But somewhere, like, Iron Fist is funny. He's a funny dude. Why no comedy? Period for this character. It makes no sense. To your point, though, I do like Gao's comments to it. Most of the talking stuff, I was like, we could cut around this. But Gao's comments, I just wish they had been shot a little more stylized. I wish it had been more... Gao lost all of her intimidation factor toward the end of this season. And I don't know if it's because I saw her be bested by Alex and kind of how she bowed down to that or what. But I wasn't intimidated like I was in literally every other season of every Marvel Netflix series to here. And I wish that moment we could have seen how Madame Gao's evil manifests, because she doesn't often attack outright. Was she, you know, she's the one pulling the strings, as we see in Iron Fist when, you know, she has them paint like put the handprint on the outside of the window. I also think that perhaps some of her evil and cruelty comes from just belittling and making people feel small. And she's trying to shake him.
There's two good things about Gao. There's in defense of what you're saying, it's almost kind of like it's like in Jaws. You don't ever see the shark.
Yeah.
You don't ever see the shark, but there's essences of the shark doing its damage, kind of like Gao, just the way that she speaks, the way she does everything. And then there's the reveal of the shark, which is fine in Jaws, but it's like the movie, I don't know if you ladies ever saw M. Night Shyamalan signs.
Yeah.
Where you finally kind of see, like, you had this, like, kind of draw these, like, weird aliens, just, like, spits, and then, like, you actually see the alien, and you're like, oh, it's a little bit of a letdown. I mean, the good part about it with Gao is seeing her powers being used during the fight was awesome. I like that. I don't know if you ladies...
Again, because there wasn't, like, either a one-on-one fight or a power... Like, nobody ever seemed to have so much of an upper hand that it was just over. We get that right before they capture White Hat. Right before Sawande is captured, there's this fear of, like, my God, they have all the power. But then none of that power ever manifests itself. Like, Luke Cage gets knocked out. That's the worst thing that happens to him, is he gets knocked out. Like, nobody's put permanently in a hospital. Like, there's just no fear. And I really feel like the series suffers from that. I don't fear the hand, and the whole time, the hand has been scary, so maybe that's it. Maybe we saw the shark, and we were like, not too good.
Yeah, Zeus Lou Wop says Gao did lose what made people fear her by the end, so he agrees with what you say. Yeah, I mean, I felt like during the fights were cool when they're in the pit, but I don't feel like we ever got more from, like, Murakami in terms of, like, if he, like, any more of, like, the...
Murakami went out like a little... I won't say it because we were a PG-rated station, but it is frustrating how dope... All I could picture him fighting the bear, and the gravitas with which that actor played him, just cutting it, reminded me a lot of Stannis Baratheon when he's cutting the deer in season 2 of Game of Thrones.
You mean the rightful king? The rightful king of the Westeros?
Sorry, not Stannis Baratheon. That is
you're talking
Lannister, the dad.
Tywin?
Yeah, Tywin.
Okay.
Tywin's cutting the deer, which is the Baratheon sigil. And that's his introduction. He's, like, pulling guts out. That's what I imagine when he's pulling the bear. I'm like, this is a Tywin-level master of, like, fighting and cunning. You got knocked out with, like, a punch or something?
Yeah, we got more from Nobu. I think we got more from Nobu in Daredevil 2.
Absolutely.
Than we got from Murakami, who was introduced as a cool. So maybe like we talked about with Sawande, a little bit of an introduction of a cool character, but the character development, the essence of, like, what their power, limitations of their power, we didn't get to see.
Here's what should have happened. I've got it. Each finger should have been deployed individually. You know what I mean? Like, give us a full episode of them being hunted down. And each one being, like, having to go back to Alex and being like, we can't do it. She's like, we got to throw the whole fist at it. Like, everybody's got to go and move in one thing. And then we could be terrified at that point because we know what they're capable of individually and we just barely made it out. But then at the end, like, they're going to attack all of us at once. Like, there's no way. We can't do it. We can't fight them one-on-one. The only reason we won is because we fought as a group. That shows, like, them having to get better over time. There's a lot of possibilities, but... Like, I missed Sawande so fast. I missed him immediately. But his presence on screen is so great. Why did we do this? And the same thing with the others. I was just like, they went down so simple, and it's just, I didn't get to see what they could do. I feel like we've been teased the hand. What is this? The 4th season of Marvel's Netflix show? Yeah,
because it was, teased in Daredevil...
Daredevil 1 and 2.
Right, because Gao shows up and she's up against
Jessica, Luke, and Iron. So 5. We've had 5 seasons of hand business of just like the hand is out there and they're gonna get you and look at all these things and their strings. And I just feel like the season episode 2 where they drop the building was really cool. Where we see the first earthquake and I was like, who are these people? And we get the tease of Alex, but it jumps right off the track super quick. I almost want to redo because they're so cool, but they just didn't do anything.
The hand needs some Viagra.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually like your idea. I actually like your idea that it could have even been, I do love that the idea of at different times we saw them go up against each, like see the defenders go up against each version of the hand to see what their powers were. And yeah, and that's what's kind of lame about the whole, like, even like Colleen and Bakudo. As I was saying, it's like there's a lot of talkie. You know, like a lot of down talking to Colleen, but you don't ever really see Bakudo get better in terms of, or like show something different than we saw in Iron Fist.
Yeah. Or even get, again, I just feel like we know Iron Fist has powers. We know Kunlun is a magical city. I don't understand the fear if it's a fear of magic, because Marvel has only done Doctor Strange as far as getting into that magical realm of things. And I know that part of the thing that initially made Marvel such a huge success was the realism. Like, I remember because I was there, I was going to theater like, this is amazing. It feels like it could be real. I feel like because of the advantage of Harry Potter and some of Lord of the Rings and stuff, we have a lot of examples of how magic can be done in a way that feels real. I wish a little bit had been employed here. I mean, I know we don't want to go over the top. I know we're dealing with tight budgets, but it would have just been great to feel Kunlun on Earth.
Especially when you have that many actors who need to get paid, even though Marvel doesn't pay crap to sign you on for like 10 movies or 10 TV shows or whatever it is. But you're right. I mean, I think that was the limitation of when you and I were on the panel for Iron Fist. Zach said it right off the bat. We're not going to see Kunlun. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just like a budgetary, just we don't know how to create. I mean, who knows how much it costs to make just a post-production for Doctor Strange.
That's so fair, but then like I feel like it's not hard to shoot in a forest, which is oftentimes the setting for magical spaces. Like we couldn't have somewhere in LA there is a bamboo studio, like a studio that has like a bamboo forest in it. Give me that. Like so many options of just you can do like the nature as magic kind of thing, or even I've seen people do like with lights or shadows or animation. Like there are a ton of options that I feel like just were not explored for the sake of we're moving quickly and we need to have an episode. I understand again schedules. They want to release regularly. As a fan, I want to receive these things regularly. I would gladly wait a year between shows if it meant that we would be getting a higher quality of show.
April, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the magical element would have helped a lot, especially with the black sky as well. Giving her just something different, because by the end of it, she's just Elektra.
Even like a smoky black contact. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We were, when you stepped out during our when we were watching the show, Joelle and I had a conversation, and that was a problem. It's like I was thinking that Black Sky, you never see her just turn into kind of a maniac. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of a maniac turn, or, even if it's crazy Joker-esque or something, just to see that she's not Elektra. Mm-hmm. She just stays as... Yeah, there's no real change.
Well, they tease it real good at the beginning, like when she comes out of her like birth pod chamber thing, and she's kind of disoriented and we're not sure what's going on. But after she kills Alex, I feel like bloodlust should have been initiated. I would even taken something as corny as like she gets hit in the face and it makes her bleed, and she's like, "Yes, now I'm ready to go, fueled," which is corny, but again, at least it tells the story. Who is Black Sky? She's not any different than Elektra. And maybe that's the whole point, but it's a real weak plot point. Like maybe that's the whole point is like nobody could change Elektra. She's always been Elektra, as Matt said. She's not a slave to anybody. I think that's kind of I feel like then why tell the story?
I mean, so April, do you feel like we got I don't know how much, I mean, I'm a crazy Star Wars guy all the way through and through. I don't know how you are, but this whole series of Daredevil or Elektra, I just kept thinking, oh, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. It's just kind of the way
killed the younglings.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I felt about that storyline. It's like the Force, the light, the dark. I mean, I was like, I'm going Star Wars here, or I mean, and I know it's hard because like it's not just like this. It's not just the Defenders. It's not just Star Wars. There's always that conflict of like, I know you're still there. There's like, or when I was talking about with The Walking Dead and the Strain. I don't know if you felt like it turned Star Wars as comedic for you, or if it was just bad all around.
I could definitely see like Revenge of the Sith, like you were the chosen one, and like all that type stuff where you think that you know the person and you really don't, and that epic battle at the end. I could definitely see a Star Wars type deal going on with it. Yeah,
and it's still just like that it's like that bad Hayden Christensen, not real good turn of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. It felt just very, just like there wasn't a good just turn.
I mean, it was challenging because even at the end where I was like, okay, so Matt's going to stay behind to deal with Elektra and her ridiculousness. Dope. But then we way so much talking during their fight scene. I'm trying desperately to try to understand what is Elektra doing here? Like, what is it she just likes to fight? Because that's all I got out of it. Like, why are you doing this? So the game is fun. But you don't seem like you're having fun ever up until this point. You kind of smile when it's just you and Matt. But I don't understand, like, why, like, any of her motivation. She's not trying to take over anything. She's not trying to get away from anybody. She's not trying to win anything or prove anything. She just kind of is there. Did I miss something?
No, I totally agree with that. I feel like they were trying to hint at it when she was talking with Danny about how they were similar before they broke into it, but
I actually didn't mind that scene between the two of them a little bit of like the going back and forth saying you and I are kind of similar in the sense of like how we feel about certain aspects of who we are, who we're led to believe we were. I actually didn't mind that scene. That's a good example of the thing with so you're at the bottom of this pit. You're at this bottom of this pit, and you're telling your buddies go on, so you're gonna stick around and try to turn this person. So then what's the win? Matt, you're right. Oh, hey, now we die.
Now see, Matt's I understood. Matt does not want to live in this world anymore. Matt is like he lost Stick, which is like his second father figure. Which
he cried for a second. He's like, ugh, where's Danny? Where's Danny though?
yeah. It was like, and I get it. And here's the thing: had that same scene been placed against a chaotic background, that would have played. We're in chaos. I don't have time to cry or mourn Stick. But we're at a police office and it's quiet, and Danny's like been gone. Like it's just it doesn't work. I have so many thoughts. But I do think that Matt was just like, look, I can't please Karen. Like, she doesn't want me to do this, and that's the way that she loves me. I'm in love with this girl who is never going to be okay or do anything. Even Foggy, my best friend, and I are constantly at odds. I haven't really protected anybody, and I mean, this show takes place over 3 days, so I just feel like he was like, I'll just end it down here. And that makes total sense to me. But what the hell is Elektra doing? Like, just what do you want, girl? Like, there was never like a plan to take Matt from them or to try to convince Matt to do something different. There's never, like, she had zero plan. Even when they're asking her, like, okay, so you're ahead of the hand now. What's going on? She's like, well, no one's going to control me now.
We're so much more than this corporate thing. And yeah, that's kind of,
you know
what you bring up.
you?
I didn't even think about more of like, what does she want? I just kept thinking, okay, she wants a mortal life of the substance, but
to do what with? Like, you're not even living a life. Like, it's not like she has, I'm not saying that she should want to die. I'm just saying, like, we don't see her reason for like wanting to live much longer. She's not like, even if it was Alex in that role, like Alex is older, so you understand, like, okay, like maybe morality is the thing that's reaching her. Her daughter died. I get why you want everlasting life. I get why death is your enemy. I don't understand why death is Elektra's enemy. Like, she died and came back, but she didn't seem scared or scarred by that experience at all. At least, again, that was interpreted to us. So it's just a very strange, like, villain. And when you have Sigourney Weaver and you expected her to be the villain, and then halfway through they take it out, like, it was just confusing. It was hard to get on board with either. And again, I really expected to feel terrified, and that never happened.
The problem is when you see Black Sky / Elektra take over, it's not this defining moment. It's more like we feel deflated because, and I'll say that's a problem. It's like when you have someone as awesome and iconic as Sigourney Weaver, there's almost like, unless you had like maybe Holly Hunter step in her place, maybe you could kind of be like, oh, that's cool. But in this situation, I don't think anybody could, any of those actors could step in to kind of look like, wow, they just dethroned Sigourney Weaver, or maybe
to fill the void.
To fill that, and yeah, we were led to believe that they signed Sigourney Weaver. Oh my gosh, she's technically doing her first TV series, and we don't even get to see her all the way through.
And we don't even get to have an epic death or an epic rise and fall. Either one of those would have been very excellent for this series, and would have fit our other villains. Like, their trajectory is always like incredible rise of power and corruption to immediate fall, but they're all scrappy, so they stay consistent, and then they're taken out. She just is kind of there, has a plan, is a little intimidating, eats some food, watches a performance, and then dies. I don't know why she was here. I feel bad for Sigourney Weaver. I hope this doesn't turn her off to TV because she's amazing.
She should not be disappointed in the role that she played. And she knew what she was signing up for. You know, clearly, like they said, okay, we have an 8-episode series. We're gonna put you in do half the season. So she knew what she signed up for when she did it. And she played a great, strong character, a little bit of anticlimactic death, but
all of her solo scenes are like my favorite moments, like when she's eating Indian food or when she's watching the string quartet. All of those moments are Wilson Fisk levels or Purple Man levels of greatness.
Listening to the record, the old school record
Yes.
player. It's not a CD. It's very on theme with how she enjoys. I mean, yeah, because with her, you feel like her motivation is that she's had a loss, but she's enjoyed the life that she has. You know, she really like with the symphony, the record, eating genuine food and talking about I had the real thing from way back in the day. Just like when I used to have McDonald's from the 80s. It used to taste so much better. KFC and McDonald's used to taste so much better than it does now. So I feel your pain, Sigourney Alexandra Reed. I feel your pain. No, she shouldn't be disappointed.
I think she did more than her job. The fact that audiences wanted to see more from her and her backstory and were so disappointed when it was just Elektra at the time, that shows that she did her job.
Absolutely.
So is it weird that throughout this whole thing, I mean, I never felt that okay, so I said it, you know, and we knew that at least for now, Elektra was going to die, or Black Sky was going to die. This is kind of way, like, I really feel like they played that character out. We know that Matt wasn't going to die, so I never felt like anything was in peril. That's, I think, what made the ending kind of bad, is that everybody's mourning him, but it's hard to mourn Daredevil because we've never really seen, and like
and we've already announced a season 3. I really wish that they had that there was no announcements or anything about Daredevil, and that we hadn't had that final cutscene at the end. It's not really a cutscene, but it felt like one. And that way, when they're like, Daredevil 3 coming 2 days, you're like, no, what? He's alive! Because
it feels like I mean, maybe this was the problem of Batman versus Superman.
I was going to bring that
Go
point
ahead,
up.
yeah.
Oh, well, the fact that they sell it as his death and they go and bury him, and it's supposed to be impactful for the audience, but true fans know it's like, all right, we know he's going to come back, and they already set up Justice League, so why are we concerned or affected by this?
You know what's worse is they did it twice, because they do it when Foggy and, oh my God,
Karen,
thank you.
You don't like Deborah Ann Woll as an actress. You don't like Jessica. I command
Deborah
you.
Ann Woll. She is stunningly gorgeous. I just wish, like Simone Missick, they would give her something to do in this damn show. But when they're waiting in the police station, and we have that shot, it's like 45 seconds to a full minute of like back and forth and back. I'm like, he's not coming, and the audience knows
That's really bad.
We saw it collapse already. And it sucks because that shot is set up so beautifully, like the way the actors are coming in and out and the groups are meeting. I really love that pan around the room. I just wish we had gotten to the door and then cut back and let that be it. But they dragged it on to the point where you were just like, this is taking me out of the film. I just don't care anymore.
And my issue is this, is that, okay, if a building fell on top of you, is your first thought as you crawl out of a building and say, my friends are going to be at the police station. That's where I need to go back to the police station. I mean, I know they're looking for Matt Murdock at this point. They're not looking for Daredevil. But, I mean, granted, the police, I guess, never even ran into Daredevil.
No.
So they don't know so it doesn't matter. But, yeah, my first thought wouldn't be like, okay, I had a building fall on top of me. I'm going back to the police station where I think everybody's supposed to be.
Like, you should be checking hospitals or something. You know what? That is a much better scene, is having them run in and out of hospitals. To be like, please, is he here? Is he here? And then you could have given Claire something to do. That would have been great. Well, Claire did her part, I guess, in the end. She did all right. She took that guy out with was it a wrench? Yeah. Dope.
Well, but that leads me to think of the most, and this is, I don't know if this is sad or if this is good. The most shocking thing for me was seeing Misty Knight get her arm chopped off.
Oh, same here.
It was the best!
Right? Of all the writing of the supposed death, you know, the reveal of the hand, the substance was good, or like the dragon bones part, but the most shocking thing was, I mean, nobody died, but it's just being an amputee.
It was amazing. Well, again, if you know Misty's eventual outcome, you're like, yes, we're getting closer to what I need to see Misty be actually doing.
Because I don't know much about her storyline, so I don't even know if that's a part of it or not. But so like when I saw it, it was cool to see because I didn't expect that.
Okay, so that's really interesting. Okay, so as a fan of the comic book Misty, and having watched Luke Cage, they tease the cutting of her arm off so much in Luke Cage. There's so many times where you're like, oh yeah, go back and watch. There's the most obvious one is in the I think it's 2 or 3 episodes before the finale where she gets hit in the arm and Claire has to be down there sewing her back together and then wrapping her up really tight.
Sure.
That was the part Because, okay, guys.
It's a lot of foreshadowing.
Just a 15-second spoiler warning. Like, just pause or skip ahead depending on where you are. When she gets her arm cut off in the comic books, Iron Man gives her a robotic arm, and that's when she switches over to being a vigilante as opposed to being a cop.
So in this case, they're going to have Danny Rand with his special hospital.
I guess. Which is much more like, put Simone in one of the movies. Cross these universes. We're ready. So I thought Luke Cage did a really good job for fans for setting up, like, oh, she almost did it. Oh, it could be here. Oh, it's not. And you're just like, let's move. So that when it happened here and so quickly, I was like, what? Now? Here? This is where we're doing it? This is so dope. Especially because it's Bakuto who does it. You're just like, whoa, so great. But as I guess if you don't know, yeah, I guess it would be horribly shocking. To me, I was just like, finally!
Yeah, no, but I like that. I like that as a viewer, not knowing a lot about that character.
Sure.
Loved seeing that, but in same token of this series, it's a little sad that nobody died. You know, nobody died. She just got an arm cut off. You know, no big deal. She can always get like a hook arm to use, or even like a Morning Star spike ball.
Wow.
If she needs to become whatever hero she's going to turn into. So, but that's what I'm saying. It's a little sad that's the most. I was like, what? You know, I wasn't.
Yeah, that probably shouldn't have been the highlight of the show.
I mean, granted, also, seeing Sigourney Weaver go so soon probably was a little bit, but not the way that she died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. Elevator scene, which was dope. I like the way they use that elevator. The elevator goes all the way down into the pit. I like how, first of all, just the three of them together, guys, that is a team. Like, they feel connected and cohesive and together. I really like Luke Cage, Jessica, and Daredevil together. I like them coming down into the elevator. I like them using Jessica as bait and her being like, the hell? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Okay, great. But more so when they're trying to escape. Okay, here we have to go back.
Where she's got the...
Where she grabs the cables, to hold it up. Why, Elektra? Again, why? Why cut the elevator? They're leaving you alone. The building is coming down. There's nothing here. What are we doing? But for her to get up there, like, climb, hold it, and then also be like, why are you staring at me? I'm like, this feels comic booky and superhero, like, it just felt so on point to the genre in a way that a lot of the show missed. I really enjoyed it. It was fun and tongue-in-cheek, and then also the fight was just great because your obstacle was like, don't die. As opposed to usually in a fight scene of these calibers, it tends to be like, get to your next place so you can stop the bad guy from doing something. But here it's like, just don't fall off this elevator. And that really rose the stakes for me, and it was fun. I mean,
that's a great thing about Krysten Ritter. You said it in one of our recaps that she has the most comedic acting chops. So she had some of the best delivery. Like, even when they first show up, she's like, all right, 3 days ago my life was normal, and now I got ninjas, and then they start into that big battle. Though the one flaw again down in that fight pit is most of the time they're using swords. They're fighting each other, martial arts and stuff. Makes sense, great. And then two guys just randomly, like, after a while, they're like, oh, you know what? Let's pull our guns out. You'd think that'd be the first thing to do. Let's pull our guns out. Yes. But instead, it's like later on, it's like, okay, we're getting our butts kicked trying to use martial arts, so now we'll pull the guns.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. I either don't have the guns or pull them out earlier and make that the first struggle. Like, we just have to get these guns out of their hands. Because then it makes the sword fight dope. Like, we could have had guns, but now we're just limited to swords. It's like only trained professionals are winning here.
So, do you ladies feel sometimes that I loved every aspect of the marketing for Defenders in terms of how they quietly dropped like a camera view of the elevator scene, and you had to go to a link to see what... I forget where they dropped it, but that was like their first kind of viral marketing for Defenders. And then they show the trailers. And the thing that's good and bad is the trailers were awesome. And the subway scene, where you see her, she's chugging the beer. She's like, I had a long day. It played funny in the trailer for me. Didn't play as funny because I knew it was coming when they were in the subway.
That's the problem with trailers nowadays. They give so much away and they lose their comedic timing. Like in the new Thor trailer, like when the Hulk comes out and he's like, yes, I was like, that's so amazing, but that would have been so much better in the movie.
If you had no idea it was coming or how he and Hulk were going to meet, I agree completely.
See, I'm 50-50 on that in the sense of I love it even more because because we're fans, we're gonna read, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and like it's based on like Planet Hulk. So I didn't not like it. I still agree with you though. In the movie, if I was sitting down watching and knowing nothing, I'd be off the roof.
Yeah.
I'd be off the roof, and I'm sure the word of mouth would get people in droves anyways.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Like the trailers give away too much, and that was my issue. Is that they did a really, 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 really good job with the marketing, the trailer, that scene. I almost thought for this part, because like I knew that was coming up. I was either hoping it was going to be a longer scene in that subway, or what played funnier for me in that episode was when they're trying to figure out how to get there. It's like, do you have any money? Do you have any money? The whole time I'm thinking, don't you have Lyft, Uber? And then she pulls out the subway card. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I do like how, while the trailer did kind of ruin that moment a little bit, I do feel like in the show it's much more contextualized. Like, to me, it's just less funny because you're like, oh, Jessica has a real problem. Like, you just stole beer from a homeless person. Like, it was like, oh, okay, so this is down. And I also kind of found it interesting how both Matt and Luke reacted to her and kind of gaining this information as well. It was like, oh, okay, well, we're about to go into battle, so we don't really have time to say anything, but you can see it affects both of them, and I liked that.
Overall thoughts, and then how about predictions for that universe?
Dope. Overall thoughts. Great setups, great characters. Marvel and Netflix together need to find a way to show the things that they're telling us about and not tell them to us, or find a better way to tell it. I strongly suggest animation. I know animation isn't always the cheapest, but I know that there's a lot you can do with just shadows and puppets and things like that to tell these really dope mystical magic stories that are central now to your universe because you've chosen to bring in Iron Fist. I think ignoring it or trying to skip over it does a huge disservice to the universe. I feel like that final scene with Luke and Jessica got me so hyped for both of their next seasons. I love them together. I love watching them on screen. I like their dynamics of their relationship and how complicated it is. I like that coffee is now a trigger word for everybody who's obsessed with these shows. Maybe we'll get coffee. I was like, oh, but what about Claire? But also, they're just great. And I look forward to their seasons. Bring back Sigourney Weaver any way you can. She's magnificent.
April.
It's so hard for me because as a comic book lover, I've waited so long to see these characters on screen, and as amazing as it is, it was still a letdown of a season for me. I feel like it had a lot of potential and it let me down in a lot of ways, but I'm still super excited for all of the shows that are coming after in the next seasons, and I'm really excited for Jessica Jones next season. I liked the way they ended that. I thought that was perfect, and I'm excited to see more from them.
Yeah, I the way that I feel too is that maybe it peaked with Sigourney. It peaked with Sigourney Weaver, and then when she was killed, it kind of everything else just fell apart and deflated after that. But I'm hoping. Here's what I hope for. Here's the good parts. What I've hoped for is that we finally get to see. We get rid of Bruce Wayne brooding Danny Bland, and he turns into a more fun Iron Fist for that series. Luke Cage, I liked the whole season. I felt like they stayed on point with Luke Cage. It's going to be interesting to see how Matt Murdock does what Matt Murdock's done, especially with the whole Maggie or the revelation of, I don't know if I should give out the spoiler or you just want to give out the...
Yeah, if you guys don't want to know who Maggie is, just pause. It's Daredevil's mom, which is super exciting. Where did she go? What has she been up to? If you read the comics, you have an inkling. If you don't, you're going to have to wait for next season.
Yeah, see, and I don't. So, I mean, I always thought that his mom was gone, and I was at least knew the story about his dad. So, and then I'm just as not let down whatsoever, just as excited for Jessica Jones, which is what we're going into next after...
Punisher.
Yeah. Oh, after Punisher? Okay, after
yeah.
Punisher.
I'm looking forward to it, too. Purple Man's coming back if you've been reading the news online, so that will be interesting.
Hey guys, thanks for watching with us. April, where can everybody find you, and do you have any other shows here on AfterBuzz or Black Hollywood Live in the coming future?
I do not that I know of, but I'm definitely want to get into some more shows, so I will definitely be signing up for some. You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at April13Dawn.
Hey guys, I'm Joel Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joel Monique. Over at our AfterBuzz people, when Riverdale and Supergirl come back on the CW. Very much looking forward to that. And find me every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
Hey guys, so one of our other panelists who was feeling under the weather was going to be here, Jesse Klein, who is pretty much Captain Marvel along with Zach Wilson. You can find him at Jess Klein, the #1, and get all of his thoughts about this whole series since he couldn't be here with us today. I'm Rick Hong. You can find me on all social media at Rick Hong. Soon coming up as of October 1st, we are going to be actually having our own Netflix news panel for AfterBuzz TV. I'll be doing it every Sunday with other panelists, so please check us out then. Thank you for tuning in for Black Hollywood Live for The Defenders. This is it, and I guess The Punisher next, and then Jessica Jones. See you guys later.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.